Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. Time for my weekly technical update, 19th of March 2023 edition. And I just had to include Neuren Pharmaceuticals in today's video. I didn't really want to do it, wasn't really on planning on doing it when I was setting up this video. But the company, I did feature this company in the video last week. So have a look at that video because they received some really good news last Saturday, which would have been the 11th of March. And we know because of that news, the share price was going to increase a fair bit on the Monday. It did. Share price increased by just under 20%. But during the week, the share price kept on increasing. In fact, over the whole week, the share price was up 72%. This sort of reaction from the market is quite rare when you just see the share price keep on increasing. And one of my hypotheses, one of my thesis behind, maybe not thesis, but one of my reasons behind this stellar increase in Neuren Pharmaceutical share price, apart from the really good news, is that as the market digested this piece of news, as brokers did a little bit more research on Neuren Pharmaceuticals, they realized this news was actually better than they anticipated, and it took a while for them to digest it. And that's why the share price kept on increasing. Doesn't mean the share price will keep on increasing from here on in. It wouldn't be surprising to see some profit taking. In fact, I did take some profits on the Friday. I did not sell out my complete holding, just a little bit, just taking a little bit of profits because the share price has increased a significant amount since I took a position in this company. And we'll also feature, or I will also feature gold in today's video. We'll look at the gold chart and also look at one ASX gold company. And gold price have really taken off in the past week because of all those bank shenanigans that are happening right now in the United States. And there are a few people getting a little bit nervous. And when people get nervous about their money, they do tend to flock to gold. But they're not only flocking to gold, they're also flocking to cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum's prices have gone or increased a fair bit in the past week, just like gold. So I'll feature one ASX gold company. It's interesting. I did go through all the gold companies on the ASX, and quite a few of the gold companies on the ASX have not yet reacted, particularly the exploring gold companies. And even some of the bigger gold companies on the ASX have not quite reacted to the increasing gold prices. But the one company we'll look at is probably one of the best charts for a gold company on the ASX you can find. There's another one I'm thinking about, but I have featured that company in a video before. And the other four companies I'll be looking at in today's video have two common themes. One of the common themes is I have never looked at these companies before in depth, and could even argue, even after today's video, I have not looked at these companies in depth before, but they're all in the same, either directly or indirectly, the same sector, which is not surprising because this sector is doing quite well. And that sector, of course, is the mining and construction services sector. So the five companies, apart from Neuren Pharmaceuticals, I'll be looking or featuring in today's video include Resolute Mining, which is the gold company, one of the best gold company charts on the ASX. Also looking at Austin Engineering, Acro Framework and Construction, Dalrymple Bay Infrastructure, and Lycopodium. But first, let's have a look at Neuren Pharmaceuticals. And now I'm a little bit more conscious about pronouncing this company's name right. Apparently, for some reason, I've been saying Neuron, probably because I haven't been thinking about saying or pronouncing it right. So Neuren Pharmaceuticals. So this is their daily chart going back to, when was it? November of 2021, because I wanted to include the announcement that, in my opinion, was the company making announcement. That was in regards to the phase 3 trial results in regards to their Rett Syndrome treatment. Share price on that day rose 91%, and that's when I took a position in this company. Massive volume came through. Then share price went sideways for about 8 or 9 months. And it doesn't matter if the share price goes sideways. That's actually a good sign. It's good for the share price in the future, because back then in July, share price started to move up again. No big announcement from the company. It was just all those profit takers who were thinking about selling out, probably sold out. There was no more supply of Neuren Pharmaceutical shares on the market, and that's why the share price started to increase. Share price was a little bit more volatile over the past few months, and the reason behind that was because the market was waiting for FDA approval, which was going to be announced to be released on March the 12th, and some people might want to, particularly those risk-averse investors, probably risk-averse investors wouldn't be invested in Neuren Pharmaceuticals because they have no revenue before this. but probably the more risk-averse shareholders in Neuren Pharmaceuticals probably took some profits or completely sold out to decrease the risk. And then, of course, this treatment was FDA approved, which is very beneficial for Neuren Pharmaceuticals, of course, and the share price increased 72% in the week. Now, the most selling I saw during the week was on the Monday. So even though share price did increase by 20%, there was a nice little resistance area around $9. So if we go back to the start of this year, end of last year, share price really struggled to get above $9. So there were quite a few investors who bought in at about $9, saw the share price pop up back up to where they bought, and thought, now's my chance to sell this dog stock. Because I'm saying dog stock, even though it's not, is because that's the mentality around a lot of investors. And if they don't see the share price rise, as soon as they buy in, they automatically assign that company a tag of being a dog stock. So that's why that area, that zone around $9 was resistance. And that's why the share price did struggle. It struggled, and it did remain above $9 on close on the Monday. I think it finished around about $9.05. And then the buying continued because all those who wanted to sell out sold out on the Monday, some nice volume, and that supply was gone from the market. And that's why share price just kept on going up, or one of the reasons I think the share price kept on going up. So now those who sold out on the Monday, looking back going, why did I sell out? And maybe they're popping back in because they're fearing of missing out. And the share price just keeps on increasing. Another reason I think the share price keeps on increasing is I did see a couple of broker reports, and they've really upgraded their price target in relation to Neuren Pharmaceuticals, because they were a little bit surprised, and I heard this a couple of times, they were a little bit surprised about the potential money this company is going to get from their deal with Acadia, because Acadia did give out some details in regards to the costs of this treatment. And the costs in this treatment are going to be as high as something like $375,000 a year, which sort of makes sense because not many people have this. And people who do have Rett syndrome and the family members who have loved ones with Rett syndrome want a treatment, and they're very excited. Now, they won't have to pay this money because they will be helped out by the governments. I believe they should be helped out by the government. But I think it's just broker reports. And as brokers do more research on Neuren Pharmaceuticals, they realize even though this company has not produced any revenue in the past, they will be dripping with cash in the next few years as this treatment, which is called DBI, will become more prevalent throughout the world. And this deal with Acadia is just for North America, Canada, USA, and Mexico. And more than likely, Neuren Pharmaceuticals will make deals with other companies, drug manufacturers, so they have rest of the world deals. Or maybe they would want to do it themselves. That's a possibility as well. The other thing to take into account during the past week is the massive volume. Not only that, I just went to Hot Copper, and Neuren Pharmaceuticals was the most discussed company on the ASX in the past week. And you can just see why, because not only will we have long-term investors interested in this company, day traders are interested in this company right now because of what the share price is doing, and also those short-term traders are interested in Neuren Pharmaceuticals. So just go to Hot Copper and you can see the most discussed companies on the ASX. And probably when you are reading this, there is a chance that Neuren Pharmaceuticals, if it's not the most discussed company on the ASX, it's among the top 5. But that's not the only chart we'll be looking at in regards to Neuren Pharmaceuticals. I'm going to show you the weekly chart here. This is the weekly chart going all the way back to 2011. Now, I discovered this company back in 2013 or 14, around that period. My memory is not that great, so I can't remember exactly when I discovered this company. And at that point in time, I forget what phase stage they were in, what phase trial stage they were in, but it still was going to be a long time before this company reaped any benefits from what they were doing in regards to Rett syndrome. And you can just see that with the chart. Share price just going sideways. Now, there's a lot of volatility within there, but that's just noise, in my opinion. So if you take out that noise, share price just went sideways from about 2013 all the way through to that company making an announcement on December 7, 2021, when the share price broke up and kept on increasing. And in the past week, share price rose 72% in 1 week. So the share price right now for Neuren Pharmaceuticals is at an all-time high, easily at an all-time high. Not only that, the volume in the past week was a record volume, taking over from that volume we saw in the week of December 7, 2021. And in my opinion, that was the company making an announcement. there was still a little bit of risk in regards to FDA approval. More than likely was going to be approved. And then the FDA confirmed approval of the treatment. And that's why the share price has absolutely gone bonkers in the past week. Now onto gold. This is gold, and gold has really increased not only the past week, but also I'll probably say the past 2 weeks. It's increased from about $1,600 or just above $1,600 to about $1,960. And in fact, using my moving averages here, exponential moving averages, I use 25, 100, and 150. The price of gold bounced off the 150 a couple of times over the past few weeks, in fact, past a month. And right now, the price of gold is at almost a 1-year high. Last time the gold prices were this high was back in April of last year. So 11-month high in regards to gold prices. Who knows how much gold prices go up by here. We had a really good day on the last day of the week, price up 3.5%. So more than likely, the Australian gold companies on the ASX will have a really good bounce in the share price on the Monday. The overall market, I think, might be down. Australian futures are down right now. A bad day on the American market. So even though overall the Australian market will be down, I think we're going to see a nice bounce in Australian ASX gold companies. And one of those ASX gold companies is Resolute Mining. And I believe, in my opinion, this is one of the best gold charts on the ASX. Resolute Mining is focused in the Mali, Senegal area of West Africa. They are a gold producing company, probably doing a fair bit of exploring as well. Now, whenever you have mining in the Western African area of the world, there's always going to be a sovereign risk. So typically, these type of companies will have a bit of a discount to it. So we're talking about Resolute, what's the other one? West African Resources. But the share price has broken out into an uptrend in the past few months. In fact, really from the start of the calendar year, share price was going down in a downtrend. And then all of a sudden, sentiment in this company has totally switched around from very negative to quite positive. Not sure why that is. I haven't done much research on Resolute Mining. They do have a market cap of about $700 million, but I'm going to do a little bit of research on this company just to see why this is one of the best gold company charts on the ASX. And right now, the share price is around about 33.5 cents. And the last time the share price was this high was way back in April last year. Remember, that was the top in the gold prices. So that, that's understandable. And back then in April, even though gold prices had rallied, Resolute Mining share price was still in a downtrend. So even though there was positive sentiment in gold back then, there wasn't positive sentiment in this particular company. Sometimes you do get, even though there could be positive sentiment in the commodity area, there could be negative sentiment in the individual gold or commodity company. And that was definitely true for Resolute Mining. But this chart's looking good. We've got a higher high, higher low, and the share price has gone above the most recent high. So this is a new developing uptrend for Resolute Mining. Now on to Austin Engineering. This company provides customized wear products for the mining industry. So indirectly in the mining industry, but I do like these sort of companies who aren't mining themselves. They're providing equipment to the mining companies. But even though I do prefer these sort of companies, you have to be mindful that if the mining sector goes through a bit of doldrum period, these companies are going to be affected. So Austin Engineering is a cyclical company. In boom times for mining, Austin Engineering will do really well. And the last time we saw a really bad time for the mining industry was back in 2015 and 16. And even though the market cap of this company was $500 million in 2013, when I discovered this company, the market cap fell all the way from that to $20 million in 2016. In fact, you can see the share price fall off a cliff in 2015 into the middle part of 2016 before the share price reached its low of 7.5 cents in June, July of 2016. But in July of 2021, 5 years after the low in the share price, we finally saw a shift in sentiment of this company. And that shift has been pretty good for shareholders during that period because the share price has increased from 12.5 cents to a current share price just below 40 cents. So almost probably just above a 3-bagger, not quite a 4-bagger for shareholders. And the share price is in a nice, well-developed uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, and the share price is just under 40 cents. And the last time the share price was 40 cents was way back in 2015 when this company was suffering during that mining downturn. So share price of Austin Engineering is going up. Positive sentiment in this sector, positive sentiment in this company, but just have to be mindful that this is a cyclical company. And if the mining sentiment does turn to shift from positive to negative, share price and valuation of this company will be negatively affected. Now onto Dalrymple Bay Infrastructure. This company listed on the ASX, I think, if I remember correctly, back towards the end of 2020, so about 2.5 years on the ASX. And as you can see by the name, this is an infrastructure company. And in fact, the amount of infrastructure companies on the ASX has fallen over the past few years because infrastructure companies have been quite attractive to private equity and also superannuation funds. So Dalrymple Bay Infrastructure, which I believe owns a coal export terminal in the Bowen Basin, has done really well. So again, this is an indirect company with exposure to the mining sector. And right now, the share price is at an all-time high. So even though the share price the company has only been listed on the ASX for 2.5 years, still the share price is at an all-time high. Now, the markup of this company, $2.6 billion. So this is a big company with revenue of $624 million in the most recent full year. But the main thing I've decided, or the reason I've included this company in chart, is just because the share price right now is at an all-time high. So a lot of positive sentiment in this company. I have done no research on Dalrymple Bay Infrastructure. More than likely, I won't do any research in the near term, but this is possibly one company to look at if you are interested in infrastructure companies. Now to Lycopodium, and for some reason, every single time I see this company, I just have images of werewolves pop up into my brain. I don't know why. It's probably the first 3 letters. That's all it takes sometimes, is for weird things to happen within your brain. For me, Lycopodium is all about werewolves. Of course, they have nothing to do with werewolves. In fact, they provide engineering and project delivery services. I did have to write that down because I have done no research on this company. I did know they were in that mining, construction, engineering services area. And this particular chart is the monthly chart. So I do like sometimes to look at weekly charts and even the monthly charts. And for Lycopodium, the start of this chart is way back when they IPO'd back in 2005. And just by looking at this chart, you can see that Lycopodium is a cyclical company. And remember, Austin Engineering's share price bottom was in 2016. They were negatively affected by the mining downturn, and Lycopodium was negatively affected by the mining downturn. So the share price reached a high of about $7.40 in 2012, and then reached a low of about $1.20 in 2015, or start of 2016. And that low, the share price, was fairly similar to the lows in the share price this company saw during the GFC. Then the share price right now is nowhere near that low. In fact, the share price is at an all-time high, just above $8. That all-time high was reached 1 week ago. So that's one thing going for this company, is the share price is at an all-time high. But if we go back, or went back to 2011, you could have said the same thing, 2011-12. Share price is at an all-time high. Things are looking good for this company. The mining sector is doing fairly well, and things can change fairly quickly. But at least you have time to get out when the sentiment in the mining sector does change. And who knows when that's going to be? It could happen in a week's time, a month, 1 year, maybe 5 years from now. And in that time, Lycopodium share price could have increased from $8 all the way up to $16, $25, $30. Now, the market cap of this company is $327 million. And the last guidance this company did give for financial year 23, $320 million of revenue and profit of $40 million. So right now, based off their projected financial year 23 profit, this company is trading at a PE ratio, a forward-looking PE ratio of around 8. The last company I'll be looking at today is Acro Framework and Construction. Market cap of this company is $200 million. And just by the name of the company, Framework and Construction, that's the sort of area they're in. And they have 3 divisions: Framework, which is by far the biggest division. They also have an industrial services division and also a commercial scaffold division. This is a daily chart for the company, going all the way back to May, June 2020. And in July of 2020, the share price of this company moved into an uptrend. And that uptrend has continued for almost a 3-year period. In fact, the share price has increased from about 30 cents to a current share price just under 80 cents. So almost a 3-bagger for those shareholders who bought into this company back in the middle of 2020. So a beautiful looking chart here. Share price just keeps on going up, but just be mindful, just like all the other mining services, engineering services, construction services company, there is a bit of cyclicality there. And when the sentiment does shift in those sectors, Acro Framework and construction will see some pressure on their share price. Not only pressure on the share price, also pressure on their financial performance. But the last thing I should just mention with Acro, just looking at their half-year numbers, revenue of $79 million, profit of $12.2 million. So with a markup of $210 million, and if they continue this momentum going, they will have a P ratio at the end of the year less than 10 if the share price doesn't increase much from here. That's all I have for this technical update, 19th of March 2023 edition, looking at Neuren Pharmaceuticals, gold, also looking at Resolute Mining, Austin Engineering, Dalrymple Bay Infrastructure, Lycopodium, and Acro Framework and Construction. If you have any thoughts, any questions about any company or the gold sector, I'd love to hear them, so leave it in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.